welcome back. Didn't get as much done as I wanted to. This is like part 2. I do have to crack on because I am working away this week. But welcome back. This is that point where you're in between races and it's stuff you should be doing, stuff you should be checking. Big thank out to everyone who subscribed. Guitars and Drones, big shout out to him because he gave me this idea, because this is a part you never see. No one ever shows you this in middle bit, and I will be showing it during racing on everything I do there as well. The first bit I did was sort my throttle out. Little issue with my fan still. It does work. There's a wire. If you know anything about wiring on a BMW SRR K46 2016, red and white wire, I think it's to do with the temperature, you know, the sensor switch. If you know anything about that, give us a hit out. Today, I am going to try and get a bit of gearing change. I'll explain why. But what I didn't show you at all or mention is what I actually do on the race day. So, like, as soon as I get there, I sort of, and I have paperwork, believe it or not. I'm not a professional, do not get me wrong. Where is it? So last year, where have I put them? There they are. So last year I did 3 rounds. I did Anglesey, Alton Park, and Donington Park. When you sign on, you get a free book. Your name's in it, your number, and all your racing. But I keep every sheet. So literally, when I go to Anglesey this year, I've got it all in here. All my times, what goes off, everything like that. So I do stuff like that. But behind that, I have other paperwork that I actually do. And it's so that when I go visiting again, I know what I'm on about. Now, you might have seen them. I do have a map. So that's my map of Snetterton. And all I do, I go and, I never remember names, believe it or not. But I'll let you put down what gears I'm used to doing each corner in. Sometimes it'll change. It's like Wilson's. If you have a look, Wilson's, first or second. I tried it in first. Bit extreme. Second feels more planted. I am going to change my gearing, so that's that one. And it's like coming out of Corrams into Murray's onto the start-finish straight. First or second. Same again. I did that in first. Jesus Christ. I don't think I'm ready for that. I'm not that good yet. So that's not me. But literally, I use these just as a guide. And then when I come in, I'll remember if I've done the right gear or not, and I'll know. It's like after Bentley Straight into Brundle, it's now called. I hit it in fourth once. My God, that was slow. But every other time, straight from 6 gear down Bentley Straight, I was touching. 3 gears down, straight into third, fully round, drop it into second for Nelson's. Back into third, down to Bomhole, and then just held third all the way round to Corrams. All the way round Corrams, should I say. So I always use one of them. If I can, I'll put it in link. If you want maps for stuff, I'll put them in bottom. What is something I always use, it's these. They aren't mine. I will say I snagged them offline. I just changed what the thing said in them. I believe you can get them on quite a few forums. I found it last year. I found them, and I do actually use these. Now, if you look, I have got 3 sets. They're from last year. Now, my fuel gauge don't work, so I do actually have to write down how much fuel I put in, how much fuel I put out. But, brilliant. Look, Snetterton. I had a wrong way round. Track day. So that were on 20th at third. What tyres? I didn't fill it in fully. This was just getting a rough idea. Changing my sag, my preload, I only changed compression. I didn't put a time on there. What pads I had in? Same on the actual test day, the day after. little bit more information, a bit more down here, a 2:11 in qualifying, and then this was race 1. This is where a proper look into it. And literally, Snetterton, the bike, the date, my tyres that I had on, and the temperatures. Obviously, my tyre warmers I set to 80 degrees. What I will say is, on race 2, on the next day, it was cold that morning, and I didn't fill a form in. And I upped these. So I upped the temperature of the warmers to 85, because it were a cold morning. But the hot pressure actually went out at 33 front, and I went to 28 rear, just because it were really cold. We'd had that bit of rain. It was cold. I upped the front pressure, did right, but then race 3 it went warm again, and I dropped them back down. So they're the pressures for me. I'm not the lightest of people, I will say that. So them pressures work for me at Snetterton. People go, oh, you need 24 it back. No, I don't, Dwayne. So they're the pressures for me. My gearing, 16 sprocket on front, 45 on rear. This is my front suspension, my rear suspension, and these are all the settings I had. I did change it here, and I did change it from, so I had a plus 12 on compression, went to a 14 to a 15, and then I did actually put it back to a 14. Rebound stayed the same. My rear stayed the same. I had no issues with that. It was just the front. And it was literally because of this bad boy. I don't know if you do use these yourself. So that is just a tie wrap. I'm not... And literally, I just put the tie wrap up. And as I brake, obviously, it goes down and I measure it. So if it bottoms out, it's no good leaving it like that. So I have had to alter my compression and my braking. Go and watch my videos on the actual races. You'll see how I catch people up on them brakes. I will talk about brake pads in a bit because I'm going to have a check on them. But I did change my the brakes that I used. Total difference. What else have I got? Obviously, my fastest lap qualifying was 2:11. My fastest lap on track was 2:08. And I just put notes. Warm, really good grip, braking brilliant, warm my brake pads up. No one told me about warming that. I always know brake pads work better when they're warm, but Jesus Christ, I use DCs. Them carbon, they need warming up. I went into, and it were on the sighting lap. So we went out, went on sighting lap, went to that first corner, and I had no brakes. So I literally had to, going from that to the right, the hairpin, I don't know what you call it. It used to be Mullinews, didn't it? Wilson's, I think it is now. I would just dragging the front brake to get some temperature into them pads. My God, that were a bit sketchy. But warmed them up, they were fine for actual race. Which, go and watch, you'll see how good them brakes are. I'll talk about them more. Obviously, the fuel I use, I put 9 litres in, 23 mile, 8 laps, and I came back with just short of 3 litres. I don't have a fuel gauge on it, so I have to literally drag it out and measure it. I'll show you that next time I'm at the racetrack. Right, I'll also try and put one of these blank sheets in the description, and if you can, just take it off it, download it, use them. Absolutely brilliant thing. Always, I have a pen and a little ruler and a little Polly Pocket that I put everything in, just so I'm trying to do 2 things at once here, talk and tidy up a little. Right, today I have got to check my water for overeating. I am going to check that. I'm going to do my sprockets, and I'll explain why. I'll have a quick check at brakes, check the oil, and just make sure I've got everything right. Brake fluid. I do want a little bit more only a touch more brake fluid in, because as I've used it more and more, it seemed to go down, and I were a bit worried at one stage. So I am going to do that. First of all, and I might as well just keep it rolling, quick little check is my water. Now, you can't use coolant. Oh, you've got to use water. You are allowed to use water wetter, which is what I've used. Now, oh, there we go, straight away. So, I did change this. So, in winter, I always put coolant in and run it round, because it lubes the pump up and everything, and seals and everything like that, whereas water just rust. Drained it out and I put water wetter. I did have an overheating issue, which I've spoke about before, but if you have a look there, I don't know if you can see, there's no water in. There is, it's just obviously evaporated. So let me get some water and I'll just, oh my god. So I'm literally, there you go. So as you can see, I've just topped it up, and it's little things like this. I'm just pressing pipes, making sure it's getting round, and same on the other side. You can see it gurgling. A little bit more in there. Now I did have to do this at the trackers. Oh, that's a bit overfull. Gurgle it. Gurgle. I'm just literally pressing pipes. Don't matter, it can go into overflow. There you go. I'll leave that like that. I'll check it when I get back to track after engine's run. But you could see it's low. When did you last check yours? You don't want that bike blowing its arse out, do you? Because of something as simple as not checking water. Glad I checked that one. Right. I might turn the bike round because I need to get the chain. Oil I'll check in a bit. I am going to lube the chain as well. I always look after my chains. While we're at it, coming out of them corners, go and watch it. You'll see. And this cup, God, must be 25 years I've had this cup. My kids aren't even as old. Well, maybe eldest one is. He's old enough, older than this cup. But this cup I've had for absolute decades. You know, you always have your favourite cup. Welcome to racing. Right. If you go and watch the race, what you'll see is shitter on brakes. You know what I mean? Got some guns, I can pull that brake. Really, I've always thought I was good on brakes anyway. Coming out at corners, shit. And I mean shit. It's like, pull throttle back. Hopefully, my new throttle helps because I've got that Jet Prime on. Not sponsored by Jet Prime. Now, what I have done while I've been working away, I already had spare rear sprocket. So when I first got the bike, it had a 15 sprocket on front and a 43 on back. And I thought, oh, that's a bit sharp, that. So I changed it for a 16 on the front and a 45 on the rear. Yeah, it's not helping. So I bought, and I did actually give Ryan 110, Ryan Taylor. I give him my 15 sprocket, which is fine anyway. I've gone and bought a new one anyway, new washer, and I've gone and got the 45 rear sprocket back. I'm going to put that on, and it's just what it is. So I fit the 15 sprocket. I might as well take that out of the pack. I don't really need it in pack. 15 teeth. Now that, in reality, I'll take the 16 off, put the 15 on. That adds between 3 and 4 teeth on the rear. So one down on the front will equate to 3 or 4. So you're talking 3.5 teeth, are you? Because they say 3 or 4. They're not quite sure. So that might be a bit too dramatic, you know, like a bit too sketchy. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put the 43 on. So I've got 45 on. So what I'm going to do is put a 15 front on, which let's say it's 4. By putting a 43 and I'm then lowering the back by 2. So I'm only going to go up by 2 teeth. So it'll be more acceleration. If it's still slow, I will slap either a 44, because I've got a 44, and I've got the 45 as well. If it's still slow on acceleration coming out of them corners, I'm not going to go down any further than a 15. I don't think you can get anything lower than a 15 for this anyway. I'm definitely not going to keep the 16 on. I think I'll start changing my rears. What it will do is, smaller front, smaller rear, it'll extend my chain, and what that does, it brings the wheel, because when you tighten your chain up, you'll bring your wheel back, which will give you a bit more stability. Less wheelie, less wheelie on that, are you kidding? But in reality, less wheelie as well. Oh, where's the new washer for the sprocket? Always get a new, because you've got to bend them as well. You don't want to be messing about screwing that stuff up, do you? So what we will do is, where am I chucking everything? Right, I'll get my wheels off. What I'll do, I'll just do it. I'll do it off camera, and then I'll come back. Catch you in a bit. Right, so I did just do a quick time lapse to taking back wheel off, to be honest. I don't know if you saw, I had to use a big, massive bar, and I used that in the back wheel, and that's to get off the front sprocket. 150 Newton meters that we're on, which, look, so I knocked that washer off at the back. Now I haven't done the front sprocket on a how-to. The rear sprocket I have, so on the rear sprocket I'll not bother showing you that, but this front one, if you have a look, that were on at 150 Newton meters. That was something going. Now I have bought the new one of these. As you can see, I knocked it over in 2 parts. I just flicked it out, and it's simply, obviously I've took the back wheel out, so it has come loose, and all I'm going to do now is shake it out. I could have made it easier by removing the quick shifter, but as you can see, look, that goes on the inside, not the outside. So that's the old sprocket. Let me get the new sprocket. New sprocket. Look at the side, look at the difference in that. Right, so get it on the chain, and then I can just move it into place. Now it is a 520 chain as well, so oh, look at that. Get my new washer. My new washer, look, goes over and it fits into them splines there. Now I can't tighten this up fully till I got my back wheel on. Well, let me just get that tightened. Right, so I'll wait till my back wheel's on and I'll fully tighten that. Obviously I've got to then bend them tabs over there to do it. Old one, no good, that's gone. But I'll continue that in a bit. Now what I will be doing is changing my sprocket. I've got a how-to. I sound geeky as shit on them. They was like proper early stuff that I did. This is a 45. I'm going to put a 43, and I'm not going to video that. I'll literally get that done and get it back in. I'll be back after I've done that. Catch you in a bit. Right, so I've done the sprocket. Now I've only just roughly put it in place. I didn't bother recording it. You can go and watch my other videos for removing wheels and stuff. Now what I've done, I've got it on, and because I've got a smaller front sprocket and rear sprocket, that's where it were originally on the adjuster. If I pull it back, look at that, I've got 1, 2, 3 blocks and 3 blocks on the other side. So what I have to do is I have to alter these chain adjusters. Literally, I'll undo that, bring that over. And I have got the other side to do at the same time. So, might as well do it both. I haven't tightened the front sprocket up yet. I'm literally just getting these to where they need to be. Now, I don't know if you've ever done your own or you leave it to other people, but what I will say is make sure they're even. Well, and what I mean by that is, you see the marks on the bottom? They're counters. And literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is, if I push it, that is bang on the 6. Now on the other side, it's got them exactly, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That needs to come out a bit more. Because what it's doing, oh, check my chain. Chain's slack anyway. So all I'm doing, I'm pushing that back. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now, but that's more of a 6. I'm checking my chain, making sure my chain's not too slack. That one needs to just come out. Ooh, that, right, so that's about 20 mil that, but I'm going to say that's too tight. So I'm going to loosen that, loosen the other side as well, because I do need it to be even. No, I do. Make sure you, there you go, that's on. So that's now bang on. This one, you can measure it. What I would say is I probably will measure it, but off camera. I just don't want you to be hanging around waiting for me to do this. And what I'm doing by just hitting the tyre back, making sure it's loose and making sure it sits right. Still too tight. Oh, I think that's got it. There you go. That's more 25-30 mil. And it's figuring out which should be the right amount of slack. You'll know if it's wrong because you'll hear it slapping about, to be honest. And what that's done, smaller front sprocket, smaller back sprocket, and the smaller back is just so it's not so extreme. Smaller one, 3.5, between 3 and 4 teeth, same as putting 3 or 4 on the back. Just wheelie like mad, which we don't want. I'm racing, not stunting. Not that I can do wheelies anyway, but the bike can. It's just I can't. I'm sure people will say it's easy. I beg to differ on that one. I just can't wheelie. I couldn't do it as a kid, I can't do it now. Right, so I've tightened them. Now, I will torque this up right in a bit. I'm literally making sure they're correct. Right, that's tight. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this front one. Now I need to get something in to stop the wheels spinning, because as I do it, so that's in there. Now I am holding the wheel. Ah, damn. So it's a lot harder than you actually think, trying to get, especially when you're on your own, trying to get stuff done. So I'm going to hold that there. It's come off again. I don't want to damage my trim, you see, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Now think of another way then. I don't like doing it this way because it that goes around there. I don't want to break that, so I've got to come from the other side. There's nothing I can do. I've got to get it from this side. Put that bit under there. There you go, that's better. Now that, I'm going to have to get as much pressure on. Yeah. There you go. That ain't going nowhere. Smart sprocket, I'm telling you, do it up to torque. I'm happy with that. Now what I've got to do is bend them tabs over. And it is important you do this. You don't want this coming off. And I am going to get in there behind. Look. Oh, hit the camera. Brilliant. I'm just bending it. Now so I've done that one, I'll do the opposite. Right, now I need to get a different chisel, a more flatter one, just to squash them against it. Might have to come in from a different angle, to be honest. There you go. So I'm going to have to come in from underneath, just because I've got more room. And just take your time. You don't want to damage them that they're not actually doing what they're supposed to do. It is important you actually do this, trust me. You do not want this front sprocket coming off. Nearly got that one. I'll just finish that off in a minute once I've got this one. What I will say is, this mid-race stuff, it's not, like I said, people think you just turn up racing. There's so much that goes into it. You have got to plan ahead. Now that, I might have that actually. There you go. Look, lovely and flat. Spin the wheel around and I'll get this one flat now. And it's just a locking washer. Lovely. Chain's spot on. I will torque that up. Front sprocket change, back sprocket change. Gearing, hopefully, gets me faster out of them corners. Quick fix. If I'm on racetrack and it's still slow, I can go up on back. Rather than change the front sprocket, I'll only change rear sprockets now, until I find that gearing where I get that acceleration. I am going to lube my chain. I'll not show the make, but I just use white grease. So use chain lube, use this, it flings off, it's shit. It gets everywhere, it makes a right mess. I'm just going to use white grease, thin layer, and I'll leave it on. What'll happen is, a bit of grease will collect here, not a problem. Oh, bike's not on a level. I do need to check my oil. I won't check my oil on this, I'll do that off camera. Once again, thanks to everyone who's subscribed. We're at Brands in 2 weeks. I'm not actually on track day or anything. I actually go on holiday next week. No, the week after. I go away to Turkey. I land on, I think we land on Wednesday, and I'm travelling Thursday because I've got the test day booked at Brands. Never done Brands before, so that'll be quite fun. What I will say is, if you like it, give us a subscribe, follow us on journey. If you want anything, me to show you anything while we're on track, I am going to incorporate what changes I do during racing. I will say that. I'm going to put that in. Thanks to a subscriber, give me that idea. I'm going to chat with you a lot more people as well. And don't forget, I'm Newcomer thou. I'm going to have a chat with a few more people who's in that category, see what they think about being a newcomer. Right, give us a subscribe, throw us a like. Catch you later. Cheers. Did forget something. I have actually got the bike back together. It's all done. I checked the oil. It didn't need topping up, so that's quite nice now. Oil's nice, chain's nice. I've lubed chain. Look how shiny that is. That's proper nice, that. So that's just white grease. I just spray it on, a little wipe off. Put it back on trickle charger as well. Put all fairings back on. What I did forget, I was going to tell you about the brakes, for one. And on my sheets, I did actually do quite a few adjustments. That's the one from the day before. I did quite a few adjustments. And it was to do with brakes. I had to do it with brakes because, believe it or not, I changed my brake fluid before I went to this meeting. And I put, if they want to get in touch, I'll name them better. I'm not getting any payment from them or anything. Motorcyle, honest to God, 600 RBF. Never ever did I think brake fluid would make such a difference. I'm not being funny. Absolutely stopped the bike like no. The back, first time I slammed brakes on, back wheel come up. It were a top rack. I've never ever experienced that before, honestly. Motorcyle, get in touch. I'll brag your name everywhere. That was absolutely phenomenal, and that was just the brake fluid. Now, on the first day, I run SBS 809 RST pads. Now, they're sintered. Used them last year on days that I did. Absolutely spot on. Another game changer. SBS 809 DC's the dual carbon. Oh my God. They are another league on their own. Only thing is, bit sketchy, you have got to get them warm. I went into the first corner off at start finish. Nothing at all. Well, they were, but literally, you've got to get some heat in them. They don't work when there's no heat. Going into the hair pit, I think it's Wilson's now. It used to be called Molyneux's. Going into there, I did actually just keep my finger on the brake, just smoothly, just to get some heat in them. Got around that, got around the next left-hander, and then bombed it down to Agostini's, I think it's called. Full on brakes, proper warmed up. So just be wary, if you're using dual carbon, put a bit of heat in them first. But I think that's what got me a 208, to be honest. Got me my 211 in my qualifying, and then the 208 in the actual race. In my actual notes, I did actually put warm brake pads up, question marks, no shit Sherlock. Like I said, hopefully I do get these. I just thought I'd give you a catch up because literally I switched camera off and it's like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. I forgot to do it. Forgot to talk about that. So, right, give us a subscribe, throw us a like, and follow me. Catch you later.